Hello and welcome to another day of yoga. Today we are going to be focusing on our foundation and our balance. So working on the lower legs, working on the core a little bit, and just get ready for a little bit of a challenge, which is going to be amazing because it's an opportunity for you to gain awareness to see where you're at and also to improve your strength. So grab a mat. If you have any blocks or any other props that you would like to use for assistance, I encourage you to use it. It's always a great tool, and let's get started. So we're actually going to start by lying down on our backs. Our legs can be relaxed here in a crisscross, or you can have your legs bent, whatever feels comfortable for you. And just take a moment to get into your breath. Maybe practicing that Ujjayi breath that we learned last week. Just take a nice inner inventory. Getting into your body. And what is it telling you? Maybe set in intentions of balancing, not just physically in your body, but externally in your life. And by asking that question, just allow the response and the answers to come through you throughout this flow. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. Inhale and exhale out. Last one, inhale and exhale out. Begin to place your hands on your hips here. We're going to start to do some pelvic tilts. So flatten your feet so your knees are pointing up towards the ceiling, hip width apart. You're evenly distributing the weight between both feet. Relatively a flat back, and on our inhale we're going to arch the back, creating a space between the mat. Send our hips forward. Exhale to neutralize, and inhale, tuck the pelvis into the mat, slightly lifting the glute. Exhale to neutralize. Inhale, arch the back. Exhale, neutralize. Inhale, tilt the pelvis back. And exhale, neutralize. Continue this at your own pace with your own breath. Your hands help acknowledge where you're wobbling a little bit in your hips. Noticing what muscles are being activated first, and where can you incorporate a little bit more balance so it's moving fluidly and smoothly versus wobbly or shaky. Starting to warm up the hips here, moving the blood flow within the hips, allowing it to circulate. Our blood provides oxygen to our limbs, to our cells, along with other nutrients. And our hips are where we tend to store a lot of emotional energy. Take 3 more. When you're ready, bring your knees to your chest and just start to rock front to back until you can come up onto your feet. Your feet are planted in front of you. From here, we're going to come into a boat pose. So place your hands on your knees, start to lean back, engage the core. If this is enough for you, you can stay here. If you have a prop and you want to use a block or a pillow between your legs to help engage the thighs and the lower abs, then now is the time to do it. Begin to lean back onto your sit bones, and when you're ready, inhale your feet slightly up, only as much as your body will allow. where it's comfortable and yet challenging. Your arms are out by your side. And if you want it a little bit harder, you can straighten those legs. Reaching up from the crown here and reaching through the toes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly exhale to release. Come into a cross-legged position until you can come onto your hands and knees for our first tabletop. From here, we're going to tuck the toes here, walk the hands out a little bit, and we're going to start to come into a dancing lion. So from here, we're going to drop the hips towards the right, circle forward, drop the pelvis a little bit, drop the hips to the left, and circle back. Continue making these circular movements, going only as much as what feels comfortable for you. Feel free to exaggerate this. Notice what you feel within the hips, the shoulders, the spine. The core is always slightly engaged here, so belly button slightly sucked in towards the spine to protect the lower back. And then when you're ready, go the opposite way. Allow yourself to sink into your shoulders here. Maybe add a little bit neck movement. Starting to incorporate a little bit more of a range of motion within the body. Exhaling as you go forward. And inhale as you go back. Take 2 more rotations here. And come back into a neutral tabletop position. From here, we're going to do oblique activation. So we're going to press into our left hand, press into the tops of our feet, inhale our right hand up overhead, and then exhale, send it slightly under till you come onto your right shoulder, and then press into your left hand again and reach up. So instead of holding this as a stretch, we're using this as mobility. Be intentional with your hands and how you're guiding your arm. Take 1 more. And then exhale to release. Press into your right hand, inhale your left hand up overhead, and exhale to release. Sliding the left arm under the right armpit, inhale up, and exhale down. Inhale up, take 3 more. Notice how your hips shift. Maybe activation in the back. The lats. And the tricep to help push yourself up. And last one. Reach up and exhale to release. From here, tuck the toes, heels together, and sit on your heels for a nice toe stretch. Shake out your hands, maybe warming them up. Do a nice wrist circles here. Opening up your fingers and your hands and then closing into a fist. Three, 2, 1. Come back onto your hands. Keep the toes tucked, but spread them as wide as your hips. And then send the hips back and up for our first downward facing dog. Your feet can be hip width apart. They can be close together. We're actively reaching and pushing the floor away from us, pushing our chest towards our thighs. Your heels do not have to reach, however, we do want the energy to, you want to feel the energy going down towards your heels, like you're trying to ground your heels down. Even if that means you have a micro bend within the knees, that's okay. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. Maybe pedal your dog here, bending one leg at a time, moving your hip with it. From here, press into your left leg. Inhale, extend your right leg as high as your hip, so your toes are pointing down. And then exhale, bring your knee to your forehead. Exhale, send it back hip height. And exhale, knee to forehead. Keeping the activation within the left quad. Reaching through that root of the heel. Pressing the floor away from you. Exhale and inhale back. Take 2 more. Exhale, inhale. Moving it as slow as your body needs. And exhale. On your next exhale, bring your leg in between your hands and drop the left knee for our first low lunge. Your right knee is stacked over your right ankle. Your hips are square. The core. Reach through the top of your crown and then inhale your way up. Place your hands on your hip and lighten up on that knee a little bit so you can square your hips properly, and then see if you can extend and go a little bit deeper into that pose. Inhale to lift up a little bit and exhale, go deeper. Using your glutes on both sides to stabilize. Activating the posterior chain. If you want more of a challenge, your hands come up overhead. What do you feel within the left hip flexor? Maybe the right quad. Maybe even the glutes. 3, 2, 1. Lean forward back into that knee here. And if this is comfortable for you, on your knee, you can reach back and grab your left ankle with your left hand for a nice deeper hip flexor stretch. Your right hand can come up overhead, or you can leave it on your right thigh and sink a little bit deeper. Again, the core is slightly tucked in, belly button towards spine, and you're reaching up through your crown. Ribs are tucked down. And then slowly on your exhale, with intentional movement, release that left leg. Our right foot towards the edge of the mat, and then rotate onto the lateral border. Allow your right knee to display outwards for a nice deep hip opener. And then release, come back, bring it back to center in between your hands here. Keep that low lunge. Keep the left toes tucked. You might have to extend your left knee out a little bit, and we're going to straighten that right leg. Our hips are stacked over our left knee. Our belly is lying on our right thigh. You can keep a micro bend within the right leg. Don't force it. Find what feels right for you. If you need blocks to support on your hands here, by all means. If you want to lift those toes off the mat, the right toes towards the ceiling, flex that foot, and you'll feel a little bit of a deeper stretch within the calf. You're going to exhale to come back to that low lunge, and then inhale, send the hips back. Straighten that right leg. Knee flosses, so continue to do this as we start to warm up the leg. Find your breath. Keeping that core tucked, reach through the crown. Hips are as squared as can be. Remember, perfect practice makes perfect. So being intentional with these movements. Take 2 more. When you come back into that low lunge, we're going to bring our hands on the inside of our right foot and release that right leg. You're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So keeping the toes tucked here. We're going to send the hips back and up for a downward facing dog. Maybe walk out your dog. Notice the difference that you feel with your right and your left side. When you're ready, press into your right leg. Inhale your left leg hip height, toes pointed down. Inhale, and on your exhale, bring your knee to your forehead. Inhale, send it back. Activation within the right quad and the right heel. Exhale, knee to forehead. Inhale, send it back. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Last one. Exhale. Inhale. And then on your exhale, send your left leg in between your hands, drop onto that right knee for your first low lunge. Your left knee is stacked over the left ankle. Hips are squared, core is engaged. Reach up from the crown to lift yourself up. Hands on your hips here. You might need to lift up a little bit to make sure that we're square in those hips. Your right glute is activated. And then exhale, go a little bit deeper. Inhale, lift up slightly. Exhale, go back deeper. Inhale. And exhale. Continue this at your own pace. Your right toes are tucked. Move slowly here to find out what muscles need to be engaged. Belly button is tucked in. Three, two, one. Hold here. If you took that deeper stretch on the left side, start to inch your right knee back slightly. And then lift the foot off the ground and reach back with your right hand. Left hand comes up overhead, or you can place it onto your left thigh. Keeping the core slightly tucked here. If this is too much on your knee, you can place a towel underneath your knee, or just ease off of it a little bit. Maybe that means leaning forward. Find what feels right for your body. 3, 2, 1. Slowly exhale and release. We're gonna bring the hands on the inside of our left foot and rotate onto the lateral border of the left leg. Allow your left knee to display out for a lizard pose. Three, two, one. Inhale to slowly bring the knee back up, and then frame the foot again with your hands. And then we're going to do the same knee flosses as we did on the right side. So exhale and straighten that leg. You might need blocks for support here underneath your hands. You might need to extend the right leg back a little bit further. As long as you're feeling a stretch within the left hamstring, maybe even the calf, then you're doing this right. You might even feel a stretch within the lower back. Depends how tight you are. And know that as long as you feel benefit, where you feel that there's a sensation of stretching that is comfortable for you, then that's all you need to know that you're doing it right. Doesn't matter how the posture looks. Doesn't matter how deep you actually go into it. It's a self-study, the svadhyaya. Observation of your own body without judgment. If you want to inhale your toes up towards the ceiling, flex those feet to activate a little bit of a deeper stretch within the calf. And then exhale to release, bend into that left knee. Inhale. Inhale, send the hips back. And exhale, forward. Inhale, send the hips back. Continue to do these at your own pace. Taking 3 more breaths. And when you're coming back into that low lunge, place your hands on the inside of that left leg and send the left leg back into our tabletop position. Here we're going to tuck the toes, send the hips down and back for a downward facing dog. Press into your left leg and inhale your right leg up towards the ceiling. And bring the right leg in between the hands for a high lunge. Activate the core here and then inhale your arms up overhead. High crescent lunge, being active onto your left toes, high up on the arch, your hips are squared. Reach up through your fingertips. Ribs are tucked in, your belly button is sucked in towards your spine to activate the core. How low can you go? Maybe do some pulses here. Activating the glutes, the quad. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Start to lean your hands forward to be perpendicular, to be parallel to the floor. Start to inch your left leg up and then slowly lean into that right leg and then bring your left foot to meet the right. We're going to come into our chair pose, Utkatasana. So staying there, inhale your hands up overhead a little bit. Find your core engagement, find the balance between your legs. 3, 2, 1. Inhale up. Exhale, release the hands down and shake it out. Inhale your hands up overhead and exhale, forward fold. Allow your hips to send its way up like you're trying to stick your butt up towards the ceiling. Rooted within our heels, you can have a little bit of a micro bend within the knees. We never want to lock out the joints. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. Inhale to halfway lift, hands are on our shins, pushing our shins away. We have a flat back, shoulders are down, core is engaged, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale. Inhale, flat back, rise up, so spread your arms open and keep your hands up here. We're going to come back into that chair pose. So exhale, send the hips back as if you're about to sit onto a chair. If you have a block and want to place it in between your legs, you can place a pillow or a block to help engage those inner thighs. Take a deep breath in. 3, 2, 1. From here, lean into that left leg. Lift the right heel off. Your toes are slightly touching and slide your toes back into that high lunge. Place your hands on your hips here to make sure that they're squared. High up on the right heel, so we're high up on our right arch. Left knee is stacked over our left ankle. Core is engaged, reach up from the crown. And start to do those pulses. See how low you can go. Inhale to lift up a little bit and exhale to go lower. Both glutes are activated here, activating the left quad. Yes, you can. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale into that low lunge. Begin to lean forward again. Lean into that left leg and then bring your right foot to meet the left and exhale, forward fold. You're doing it. You're doing great. You're here. How do your legs feel? Are they wobbly? Are they shaky? Are they tired? Does it mean that you're getting stronger? You're building these muscles. You're activating muscles that you didn't know you had. Or are your legs stable? And do they feel sturdy? Do they feel like they're supporting you through this? Does this mean that you need more of a challenge to get outside of your comfort zone a little bit more? Take a deep breath in. And exhale, press into your heels, tuck the pelvis slightly, engage the hamstrings to roll yourself like a rag doll up, all the way up. Shoulders are limb, and the last thing to go, roll them down and back. And just notice how you feel here. Spread your feet hip width apart, hands, palms face open, in a variation of Tadasana pose, mountain pose. Close your eyes here and find your balance. Are you wobbly? Do you feel a strong foundation? Feel the steadiness within the hips and the glutes and the core. How every form of movement comes from the core. Take a deep breath in. And exhale out. Open your eyes, and I want you to focus on a point. Begin to lean into that right leg. Slide your left heel to meet your right ankle, sliding your foot all the way up until an area that feels good to lean your left leg on. Whether that be your shin, keeping it on the ankle and on the floor, or bringing it up to your thigh. Your left knee is pushing towards the back wall, towards behind you. You're steady within your pose. On your right leg, your core is engaged. You're reaching up from the crown. Pretend like someone's pulling a string from the top of your head. Your hands can come up overhead, or you can place them by your side. Find your balance. Squeezing your toes as if you're gripping the mat. But just ever so gently, find the balance between effort and effortless. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. Tree may wobble, but it is always sturdy. Begin to lift the left foot off your right leg as if you're about to step onto a block and come into a crane pose, Balikasana. Hands come to heart in prayer. Feel your hip flexor on your right side and the glute there for support, reaching up from the crown. 3, 2, 1. Slowly exhale to release that left leg. Shake out that right leg. And even if you wobbled, guess what that means? You're only going to get better. Keep practicing. When you're ready, find a focal point again. Lean into that left leg, micro bend within the knee. And then when you're ready, slide your right foot all the way up your leg as much as it feels comfortable, where you can find that challenge, but also feel confident. Our right knee pushes towards the back wall, activating that right glute. Reaching up from the crown, the belly is tucked in, hands can come up overhead, or you can extend them out, maybe even a goal pose. Just notice what it feels like. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. We're almost there. Notice what leg feels a little bit more rooted and foundational. When you're ready, with control, release the right leg off of the left, keeping the knee bent and lifted up off the floor as if you're about to step onto a block. Your hands come to prayer pose in front of your heart, pressing into each hand. Engage the core, lift the chest, find a focal point to stare at. Control your breath. You're almost there. And slowly bring it back down. And maybe shake out that left leg. Inhale your hands up overhead. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, swan dive yourself all the way up to mountain pose. Hands up overhead. Then we're going to cross the left leg over the right. And we're going to laterally bend towards the right. Interlace our fingers, keep our pointer finger out. Making sure to expand the left elbow up towards the ceiling. 3, 2, 1. Inhale up and exhale, forward fold. This stretch is great for people who have sciatica. Allow your head to rest. How is your breath? Start to calm your breath down a little bit. Slow it down. Inhale, slowly roll yourself up out of this position. Uncross your legs. We're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So cross your right leg over your left. Inhale your hands up overhead. And exhale, forward fold. What do you notice within the right and the left side? How steady are your legs right now? Take a deep breath in and exhale out. Inhale. Exhale out. We're going to lean forward into our hands a little bit as we walk our feet across the mat. So our legs are still crossed and we're onto our knees now. Sit back onto our hips for a cow face pose. Your right leg might come up, and that is a-okay. The goal, which doesn't mean it is there yet, but the intention is to keep both sit bones rooted down. My knees still don't stack yet. My right is still slightly lifted up. And that's okay, that's just where I'm at right now. And knowing that within time and practice, it'll get deeper. For I noticed that once before my leg was all the way up. I couldn't even stack my knees. Notice the sensations that you feel within the hips. This type of pose provides a squeeze and soak effect, so it's actually blocking some of the blood flow to our hips so that when we release and come out of this pose, it's rushed with the blood and nutrients again. And it's filled with fresh blood. 3, 2, 1. So to come out of this pose, lean forward onto your knees and hands as if you're coming to a tabletop and slowly unbind the knees. From here, we're going to bring our left knee towards the middle of our hands, extend the left ankle out, and then bring the right knee behind the left, spread open our feet, and then exhale, sit down onto our sit bones. Which side might be a little bit more mobile for you? Might be a little bit more flexible. Use your breath as a tool to guide you through discomfort or challenges. How is your breath here? Can you breathe fully? If not, what modifications do you need for your own body that will make it feel good so you can breathe comfortably? Know that this is only temporary, and your body will thank you later. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. Slowly lean back onto your hands here, lift the knees and uncross the bind. We're going to come onto our backs now. Keep our knees up and spread them as wide as the mat. We're just going to windshield wiper, dropping the knees to the left and to the right. And remember that with each movement, we're being intentional here. So we're not just letting them drop, we're guiding them to fall down. You might feel a shift with how your legs actually function this way. ready, bring them back up to center. We're gonna bring our legs up all the way towards the ceiling, reverse the blood flow. Your hands can wrap on the back of your legs. You can relax your knees here so they're not actually straight. Your toes are limb. And just feel everything reverse itself. Keeping a nice flat back, the shoulders are relaxed. Relax the jaw. Relax the eyes. Slowly, with control, release the legs all the way down the mat. Coming into our final resting pose, Savasana. Our palms can be faced up or down, slightly next to our hips, keeping some kind of distance between our hips and our hands. Your shoulders are down and back, relax. Your toes naturally splay out. And allow everything to relax. Your legs worked pretty hard today. So acknowledge them and thank them, not just for today, but for everything else that they provide to get you to those places you want to go, to help you do the things you need to do. Come back to your intentions, whatever intentions you set. Whatever answers came up, allow it to complete its circuit with this final resting pose. Take a nice deep breath in from the nose and exhale out. Begin to wiggle your fingers, your toes, awareness back to the body. Maybe taking a nice stretch, hands up overhead. Like you're getting out of bed. And then when you're ready, whenever your body allows, slowly come onto a fetal position on either side. Take a deep breath here. Keeping your eyes closed, start to lift yourself up into a cross-legged seated position. And just notice how your body feels now. After this practice. With the balance and strength, the challenges you've accomplished. Just start to honor that. Embrace it and celebrate it. Take a deep breath in from the nose and exhale out. Bring your hands in front of your heart in prayer pose. Honor yourself for these steps you're taking to grow and improve yourself, to make yourself healthier and stronger, so that you can live the most fulfilled life. Bring your hands to third eye. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.